Ah! Oh my goodness, what on earth have I just witnessed? That was atrocious. Terrible performance from pretty much, I'm going to say, only one player I think did himself justice today, and that man is that man right there, Cody Gakpo. I thought he was alright. But the rest of the players, awful. Slow to pass, slow to move, not give the ball, not moving again for it. Terrible, 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 terrible. Goalkeeping, Kelleher, terrible from the first chance. Can't do anything in the second. I think you should have done better with the third. Maybe I'm going to be harsh on the players, and I don't like being harsh on the players, but they were awful. I'm going to go straight in and get in with the match ratings because I know that's what you guys want to hear. We talk about each player and their individual performance. Firstly, 70% of the ball we had, and we did nothing with it, which is just not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. But going into the player ratings, starting off, Kelleher, going to give him a match rating of 5. And you know what? I've whacked them all up just for you guys to see all of them. I'm going to give Kelleher a 5. Yes, he did some good things. He made a couple of one-on-one saves. Honestly, I think the saves he made were almost more attackers messing up than him making the saves. Other than that first one in the first minute, that's brilliant. But other than that, awful. Should never, ever be acceptable for him to concede the goal that he did concede. The first one, and I do think he was a bit slow, like I said, for the third. Joe Gomez, 5. And that's maybe even a bit kind, because I think he was awful. Slow, sloppy, lethargic. Wasn't worth being on the pitch, really, and had we not been so many goals down, I think Trent might have come on for him and maybe a different performance, but honestly, atrocious. Moving on, I'll go with Simicast next in a left back. 4, because, and rightfully so, he was dragged off at half time. He was slow, neither in the right position. Coop Miners had an entire half of the pitch basically to himself, and that's when Kelleher made that one-on-one save, which Coop Miners messed up. Out of position constantly. They didn't have an answer Simicast was just awful. Canate and Van Dijk, I'm going to give them both a 6 because I don't think the issue was centrally. I think they did okay at dealing with it. The goals that came, it was poor. I'm not going to blame them though, and I think they did okay. They had a big job dealing with Skamaka today, especially Canate, who I thought did okay with it, even though Skamaka got 2 goals. But yeah, just not good enough. Endo. I've loved Endo since the day he signed for Liverpool. He's been an absolute machine in our work tank, but he weren't on it tonight. He really was not. It was poor. He was all over the place, and I'm going to give him a match rating of a 5. Curtis Jones as well. Just a half-time sub. Was he terrible? No. Was he good? No. So I'm going to give him a 5. And I have to say, the exact same maybe for McAllister, but he did play a little bit longer, did a little bit more maybe at times, but he just really wasn't on it either today, so I'm going to give him a 6. Moving on to the front three, Harvey Elliott. I think he was actually quite unfortunate to be the one dragged off at half-time. I think Jones and Simicast, I kind of saw that coming. I thought maybe it would be 2 changes. Move Elliott back into the midfield, give him a bit of time there, and bring Salah on, aka not bring on Szoboszlai so early. That didn't happen. I think Elliott, he was unfortunate with his effort. Brilliant attempt. So I'm going to give him a 6. Because the rest of his game wasn't amazing. But I do feel unfortunate for him to be dragged off so early. On the left wing, on the other hand, like I said, our best performer of the day, Cody Gakpo. He looked bright, he looked sharp. He was always trying to make stuff happen. And I think he was unfortunate that the rest of the players around him did him such a disservice. Because it was just poor. So I'm going to give him a match rating of a 7. And then Darwin Núñez down the middle, he should have scored. I think he got played through one-on-one. He could have taken it past the keeper. He could have just done a slightly better finish. Anything really. And that just didn't happen. So I'm going to give him a 5, and I think he was very poor. Moving on to the subs, we had 3 subs that came on at half-time. Andy Robertson, Dominic Szoboszlai, and Mo Salah. Now, out of them 3, I think Robertson was the only one who really had a positive impact for us in the game. Again, I don't think he was in that amazingly positioned for their second goal. Our whole defence was all over the place for that goal. I'm going to give him a 6. Dominic Szoboszlai completely and utterly at fault for their third goal. Lackluster, lazy passing, which is unacceptable. Also lazy tracking as well. And really disappointing display. Really disappointing. So I'm going to give him a 5. And Mo Salah, again, just didn't do anything, did he? It was poor. He was all over the place. Didn't really provide anything on the attacking sense, which is what he was brought on to do. And that let us down once again. So I'm going to give him a 5. Luis Diaz and Diego Jota were the late subs. Unfortunately for Jota, he had 2 really good chances in the air. And was unable to convert, and maybe it's just coming back. Maybe it just wasn't our day. I'm not sure. I'm going to give Jota and Diaz both a 6. I do think they did okay since coming on when they came on, but overall it just wasn't great. And that just sums up our day really. But yeah, that's my player ratings. I don't really have much more to say on the game. We were poor. We were lackluster. We just didn't want it enough. We had the chances, we didn't take them with any passion or conviction or anything. And I don't even think they had to work hard for their goals. They did. They worked hard throughout the game. Absolutely. I think they played some brilliant football at times, but they didn't have to work. To get their goals. And hopefully on the weekend against Crystal Palace, we've had a right talking to and improve a lot more. That's going to do me for today. Goodbye and peace.